Good morning, Josh. Welcome to Tracker 4.0. Tracker 4.0 is a locally developed piece of equipment. This has been in development for just under 2 years. It continues to be updated. It continues to have new reports available. Our motto is, yes, we can. Anything you ask us to do, we are probably going to be able to produce in a very short order. The more information we can pump into this system, the better reports that we can produce, and the more information that's at your fingertips at a moment's notice. I know your ask was for a single document that you could print prior to going into a meeting and be able to have all of the data that you need to answer any questions that may come up in that meeting. But we actually are going to take you one step further. We're going to encourage you to go into your meeting with an iPad, with a laptop, or even with your cell phone. And while you're in that meeting, you're going to be receiving information from us. Your data is actually going to update in real time. And that's not only your data that's updating in real time, it's going to update at the air traffic manager's desk. It's going to update in the QA office, the ops manager's desk, in the control tower, in the TRACON. Everyone is going to have the exact same, very most current data at their disposal at any moment. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into each one of these pages that are presented on Tracker. This is all unscripted. I'm actually sitting in a campground in southern Delaware. I have terrible internet service right now. So if it goes slow, please believe me, it's only because I'm using my cell phone, and we'll try and get through this. I wanted to get this out to you just as quickly as I could, though, so you'd have a full understanding. The first page you're going to encounter is the planning sheet. The planning sheet takes all of the different entities that are in the WMT and tries them together. We have the air traffic controllers here, frontline managers in teal, traffic management in orange, ops managers in purple. We try and keep our color coding throughout the system to always mean the same thing as we add new pages and features and things like that. You're going to see colors mean a lot to us. They help us extract data real quickly. On the left side of the page, you're going to know your A-siders who are assigned to the shift that day. On the right side, you'll see your B-siders who are assigned to the shift that day. What I can tell you just by looking at this page for the current date, we have 2 developmental controllers assigned. They are both counted as staffing because they're in green. If their initials were in red, that would mean that they are in a training phase. They're not counted as staffing, and we're expected to train them on that day. I can tell you that we currently have 71 air traffic controllers. We have 11 frontline managers, 6 traffic managers, and 3 operations managers. That begins to create some historical data as we print these and save them. You know, if someone were to come to you and say, hey, what was our staffing on X date? You can always look back and know your total onboard strength at any time as you look back through your files. Some other information that I can quickly extract here while we're looking around. I know that I have 3 frontline managers and 1 ops manager on an RDO. I've got 3 frontline managers on an admin day. I've got 3 traffic managers on an admin day and 1 OM on an RDO. I can tell you that there are 6 controllers on an admin day who are not eligible for overtime. Each one of our color combinations means something. As you learn these color combinations, they can allow you to extract information rapidly, and that's the goal here. As we continue down on the page, we know we've got 1 frontline manager on leave, we've got a controller, a traffic manager, and an OM that are out on detail. Continuing through the page, we've got our shift notes. Shift notes will kind of help you run the shift. You know what time different closures are going to happen. And there are several sections here that'll populate if required. We'll cover closures, we'll cover briefings, we'll cover meetings, we'll cover equipment outages, There are several categories that'll populate here if they apply. Currently, on this day, the only thing we've got going on are closures. As we look to the middle of the page, we start to see our currency information. Currency is updated twice a day by the frontline managers. This information is up to date. Every time, well, I won't say every time, but it's updated twice a day by the frontline managers. This information is on every screen, and it cuts down the need for emails of Excel files, which is what we've been doing. This information is probably more up to date than the next Excel file you open. We're going to stick with yellow, meaning day shift, and blue, meaning eve shift. I know on the day shift, MC and BR need radar time. So if I were making assignments for that day, they would be the first two that I hold down. I know on the eve shift, all of the assigned controllers have met their currency requirements. That is how quickly I can extract data. It's faster than the currency dashboard. It's faster than referencing something in my email. It's lightning fast how fast we can extract information. I'm going to jump ahead a little bit to the weather brief page. The weather brief is an ECV item. It's been that way for a very long time, and I feel that this system is going to fix it once and for all. You'll see that we are now combining the initials with the schedule that they're assigned for the day. So if someone is not on the shift, we eliminate them from our field of view. We take them away, and we're only focused on these blanks, which means that the controller or the manager is assigned that shift. We stick with our common theme where blue means night, yellow means day, and green means eve. As the controllers come in and acknowledge their daily weather brief, these colors will be taken off of the page and they will be replaced with their operating initials. I'll jump back to yesterday. It takes just a few moments to load, but you'll see those colors disappeared. The colors disappear and it's replaced with operating initials. And in just a few moments, the QC office can evaluate, and they know that we only missed one person on June 16th. We can jump back 7 days ago. Likewise, it takes only a few moments for the system to load and know that we had 100% compliance on that date. That is how fast we can evaluate it. And the nice thing about it is sitting in your office, you can keep an eye on this in real time. If by 10 a.m. or by noon, all of the day shift is not filled in, you know we've got a problem. So everybody can be looking at the same data at the same time. It's phenomenal. It's 100 times better than something sitting on a clipboard. I'm going to skip 2 pages ahead over here to this ELMS R&I. The ELMS R&I is another read an initial sheet here. You'll see that when someone completes an ELMS, the date is entered onto the R&I sheet for you automatically. Now, we got this handy dandy chart and graph down here at the bottom. We know that 65 controllers have not completed this ELMS, while 22 have. 4 traffic management have not completed, and 1 has. 9 of the staff still need to either report that they completed it or complete it. Once you have full sign-in access to this, you'll be able to manipulate it, and you can select any of the active ELMS that we have going on. Give the computer just a few moments, and just like that, you'll see on this particular ELMS, 63 to go, 24 completed. And it's just 1 click. Give the computer a few moments to load, and we've got the new data for that requirement. I'm going to jump ahead over here to the 72 hours page. 72 hours page is going to tell you how much training is happening in the building in the last 72 hours. Okay? You know, with the training initiative on suspend right now, we're not going to see anything over here in the OJT, but you will be able to see a list of all the training events that took place. Same thing over here for any ELMS courses or briefings, any required meetings or anything like that. They're all going to show up over here. And ideally, you want to see this page full. If the frontline managers are really going at it, this thing can get really deep and we can have tons and tons of training completed. The reason this is set out to 72 hours is so that when you walk in Monday morning, you can open this page and you can catch yourself up what happened Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And by 15 minutes after you start on Monday morning, you've completely briefed yourself on what happened while you were out. It's a great page. It's handy to use, and we like to fill that page up as much as we can. I'm going to skip over the OM report here, and I'm going to jump onto the OJT page. So the OJT page is kind of what you were asking for and what you were focused on. This page is date specific. You change the date up here in the corner, and then the computer will spin around and spit out new data. It takes it a few moments. There's lots of things that feed into this report, so it does take a little while, and especially with my terrible connection. But I'll explain to you some of the things that this is telling you. On this given date, it's telling you that we had 4 developmental controllers in the building. There we go. My refresh finally caught up. Once again, I'm in a campground, Southern Delaware, and using my phone as internet. So on this date, we actually had 5 controllers, developmental controllers in the building. I know that we trained 2 of them. This controller received 3 sessions. And what it tells you, actually, it tells you the time of the session, the OJTI, what runway configuration we were in, the meteorological conditions, the traffic volume, and the traffic complexity. It pulls all that information and puts it into one page. It gives you their full schedule for the week. It tells you everything that they had going on in that calendar week. So when the information has to be submitted for the training initiative, you always know what their full week schedule looked. And you will know, well, on Thursday, the day before, he was on leave. So that helps you kind of fill that page out anytime that, we don't make a requirement. In this column over here, you'll see any ELMs that they did, any briefings that they did. You can see that KA attended January 2020 monthly briefing. So while he may have came up short on his total hours for the day, he actually had a 2 or 3 hour training evolution for the January 2020 monthly briefing. You'll see that RK was certified on this date. Any impediments to training for the National Training Initiative, the impediments will be listed here. The reason that RK did not get training on that day is he was certified. That was a good day, apparently. MN was also certified on that day. So this is going to be date specific. Once you have full access to it, you'll be able to click through and have it load the information up for you for each individual day. Moving right along, I'm going to jump to the work groups page. If you were in your office and you were wondering who is the management representative for, let's see, management representative for Tammer. You know that AC, which is Claire, is the management representative, and her counterpart is Jimmy White. If you had a question about the NIDS, you would know that Tom Waske is the management representative. Corey Graff and Mike Ransom are the NATCA representatives, and Joe Tamilonis is the TMU representative. So this is going to tell you all about work groups and such. This is the trainee status. This is pretty much empty right now. But what we can extract from this is what positions they're qualified on. And in this case, MC still needs to train on north departure prior to being facility rated. We know that BS is qualified on north arrival and south arrival, and he's training on north departure. All of that information is being extracted from a training file that we have. Generally, this is more full. We've gone through and we've cleared it out because of the suspension of training. So usually there's a lot more data here. It's not there for that reason. Going to jump to the next page, the lab calendar. On this page, you'll be able to view assignments into the lab. Caitlin keeps this up to date, and if someone is assigned a class with WCG or they're in the lab, it's going to tell you, their operating initials and what they're actually in. Anything else I want to cover here? Yeah, I'll cover a couple of things here. We'll go back to the day. The day tab really tells me as a frontline manager what I need to work on that day. The A-siders are located on the top, the B-siders in the middle. Frontline managers are about 2/3 down, and traffic management's on the bottom. I know that if I have the opportunity, and I'm the tower frontline manager, these folks have these ELMs that they need to complete. If I was the TRACON frontline manager, I know that these folks need to complete these ELMs, and these ELMs I don't have to worry about. They're already completed. What that allows you to do is take advantage of breaks in traffic. It allows you to extract information very quickly. It's a lot better than going to a clipboard at the ops manager desk and sorting through 7 pages. All the information is placed right there in front of you. Same thing applies for the evening shift. Again, with the A's on the top, the B's in the middle. Apparently there's no traffic management on the shift, and the frontline managers are located here. You can see which training requirements have been completed. They light up in green. If they're yet to do, they're in red. I'll jump over to the OM report, which was requested by Danny Mullen. He had said, well, the day and the eve shift tabs are great. I know what's going on while I'm in the building, but tell me what's going on when I'm not here. So if we pull up the OM report, it's going to give you a look at everyone in the entire facility. And it's going to let you know where you're at on each one of your training requirements currently going on. So if someone was to ask you and say, hey, where are we at on simultaneous ODO, the first one, you can instantly answer, the facility is 44% complete. The second ELMs were 38% complete. And on along. It gives you a ton of information that you can extract very quickly and know where we stand. You don't have to ask anyone because we've already provided you with the answer to your question. That's our goal. Our goal is to make sure we complete everything and to minimize the questions that you have to ask. We want you to be kept up to date. We want you to be able to take a look through these pages very quickly, extract all the same information that we have, know that we're doing a great job, and really trust in the system. So that's the first look around. Be happy to go more in depth. Be happy to teach you how we get this information into the system. Let me know what you think so far. Was this video helpful? Were you able to see what you needed to see? I do hope that you keep the link that I'm going to send you just put it right up on your desktop as a favorite. Open it up, keep it active, move around, experiment with each one of the pages and see what information we're presenting. And I think, you're going to find this to be a great resource. You can keep up to date when you're not in the building. You do not have to physically be in the building to answer some questions if they come up. If someone calls and they want to know, what frontline manager's on duty right now, you can just open this tracker and you know who is there. You know who's off. Like I said, on Monday morning, you walk in and you take a look at this 72 hours page and you go, wow, frontline managers really got it done this weekend. They're doing a great job. That's our goal. That's what we like to hear. That's what we like to do. This is completely tailorable. Anything you want, we can make it do it. It gets better and better with feedback. The more things that we're asked to do, the more we create. It's getting better and better every day, but I think it's really, really good right now. We like to have our information at the tip of our fingers, and I hope that this gives you a good feeling of what we've got to offer.